what's your assessment of the game?
Well, we were nowhere near good enough in the first half, Dan. Arguably as poor as we've played in weeks, and that's a disappointment of how we approached the first half. And the one thing you want to do then is get into half time and obviously try and change something, and we weren't given that option with the sending off of Ryan. So I've got no complaints about the sending off, but for the game to be decided on a penalty like it is, then too often we talk about VAR. The referee's got it right to start with, and then he's been overturned by somebody watching his television screen. And if you slow anything down, and you can't tell me anybody looking at that can say that the referee's made a clear and obvious error, and that's what VAR is supposed to be. We all know he hit his hand, but it was never intentional. Was it a foul on him? Possibly. And then you see the challenge on Fab Shah, and that doesn't get looked at. So we all scratch our heads and talk about it too often. It's frustrating, because it was supposed to be coming in for the clear and obvious. That's what I would believe, and everybody accepts that. What we're seeing at the moment is a joke. It really is, and too often. It's happened too often, and it really is a ludicrous situation we find ourselves in.
And in the first half, just before the sending off as well, there was a penalty appeal for you, potentially 2 handballs, and neither of them given.
No, it doesn't get checked. Nothing to check on. As I said, Dan, it's look, I can't come in front of your camera and say we without that decision we still would have might not got a result, but to be decided on something like that was poor.
You had played pretty well the last 3-4 games before that, pressing high up the pitch, winning the ball back. What was the difference now? What changed?
Well, we tried to play exactly the same way, and we knew Sheffield would come out at us, but we didn't handle the ball well enough. We kept giving it away, and when you do that, then you're going to be in for a difficult evening. If you haven't got the ability to pass the ball to each other well enough, and when you analyse it, that's unfortunately what we did tonight.
And it's something that you've pinpointed several times in these interviews.
Well, that's one thing we have to
work on it. How do you improve
that's
it?
the one thing we have to keep improving on it and working on. But tonight, unfortunately, we were guilty of it too often. So it's frustrating, because we know that we can play better than what we did today.
Actually, in the second half, after the 10 men, were you actually relatively impressed with the way that they did go about the task?
I think they hit the post late on, didn't they, and all the rest of it. But we can't just keep relying on our defensive organisation. We have to improve going forward. There's no disputing that. And we huffed and puffed in the last 15 minutes, and nearly got something out of it. But our first half performance was nowhere near acceptable, and we'll have to take that on the chin.
Looking ahead to the week, Alan Saint-Maximin, is he close to returning to training now?
Look, he's been out now the best part of 7 weeks now, so we've got to see how he is physically. He's still got 1 or 2 tests to be done over the next 48 hours, so that's critical to him. So we hope that he can get back up and started, but I would still think it's a while away yet.